training and trading with Ange every day from 2 to 4 p.m.
Bring it back to the basics a little bit today.
There we go.
All right. We should be live on all the things. Guys, let me know if you can hear me on YouTube. I'm going to double check all of them myself just to be sure. Oh, there I am. All right. Doesn't look like TikTok is quite up yet. Can y'all hear me?
On Zoom, I do.
Perfect.
I don't see you on the TikTok yet.
The wheels are spinning on TikTok, so we'll see what happens.
Audio sounds good on YouTube.
Awesome. I don't see video on TikTok. That's cool. Oh, look at all the people. Hey, Bruno, are you in here? Oh, wait. I think I found it. I found it. Ah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Futures here with American Dream Trading. My name is Angela, and I am the mentor slash moderator here with American Dream Trading alongside Coach. And I am today's hostess with the mostest. I'll take a quick minute just to go over some of our sales that we have going on. So today, if you buy 6 months of VIP, you get 6 months gold for free. And then both will renew at that $1,500. New VIP monthly members get 50% off your first month promo code at checkout is VIP50. There is futures lifetime available for $2,500. There is also buy 3 months VIP, get 3 months of futures. You'll get 3 months of futures as well. And then when those renew, they'll renew at $750 either. Or if you buy 6 months VIP, get 6 months of futures. Both then will renew at $1,500. Either or buy 1 year of VIP, get 1 year futures, both renew at $2,500. And then if you buy a VIP lifetime, it's $1,000 off. And then that discount is already applied at checkout. The original for that is $5,000. So like I said, I am a part of American Dream Trading. I am honored, and it's such a great privilege to happen. And then certainly last but not least, I know my mom and my dad are watching. They watch every single day, along with my group of friends that I have that have been a part of my journey as well over the last 10 months. I thank all of you for your support. And I'm so grateful that you guys tune in each day. So in addition to that, guys, we just had a really great training for the last 2 hours. So before we go live, we have training every day, Monday through Friday, and we discuss all the things futures. Typically, we pick a topic to discuss, and then we dive into some training and we watch the market and discuss some good entry and exit points that may exist and some training for charting and just some of the daily ins and outs of getting in here and understanding how to make these futures trading go hand in hand for us here. So I noticed that I'm seeing some people are saying there's a little bit of lag. Hopefully it catches up here. I'm not sure why, but we'll keep an eye on that. So thank you for mentioning that to all of us. Again, hello TikTok world. So happy to have all of you here. Sorry we missed you yesterday. Technical difficulty as just some logistical things that we need to point out here within the group. Just a public disclaimer for everyone: American Dream Trading and anyone associated with us is we are not financial, tax, or investment advisors. Everything we discuss is for training and educational purposes only, and you should not be using real money while training. For the love of God, don't do that. Go into paper trading. Simulate that crap until you're blue in the face. And if you question whether or not you are ready to go into real money, that answer is no. If you're questioning it, you need to keep paper trading. So, thank you. I don't want anybody to blow up their account, so let's please not do that. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. Anyone have any questions? It doesn't matter what you're going to ask, new or advanced, it doesn't matter. Just ask away. I encourage everyone who's currently sitting in our Zoom. All of our premium members that are a part of American Dream Trading had that 2-hour training just before this live. So if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. And then also anyone on YouTube and anywhere else, because I have many screens going on, please feel free to ask questions. We will answer along the way also. One of the big questions I get every single day is, how do you know what to get in and look at every day on the future side? And it's really just personal preference, in my opinion. I look at a lot of different things. I will check to see what the news is for the day. That way I've got kind of a time frame as to when something's going to, like, NQ or the ES or the Dow. I'm going to be paying attention to all those a little bit more closely this week. Today we had a good run so if you follow IWN, and that ticker for the future side is RTY. This morning we had a great run. I was fortunate enough to be able to follow this run this morning and was able to utilize all my technical skills that I've learned here at American Dream Trading to utilize everything I knew to get through this trade. And I came out on the very green side of this morning with 10 contracts. And then I wrote it down for a little while as well. So again, learning everything that I know here within this community, starting at the pre-market about 10 months ago, not knowing anything, I was able to come in here and use everything that I've learned here, and I've been able to apply it and was able to come ahead today. So this was a really great trade. I did 10 contracts. If anybody wants to do some math, I actually moved my sheet because I've been doing some training today. Oh, where'd it go? It's here somewhere. Anyway, I did 10 contracts this morning and I rolled this up to the top and then back down today. So let me see what we got. I'm going to comment to everybody in TikTok because I want to see what that looks like. Oh, that's cute. Hi, everyone. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. All right, I'm going to do a sound check here on the Zoom. Can you all hear me?
Yep, you're
Yeah,
good.
Zoom, I can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you. It was really quiet. It was weirding me out. All right, guys. So what do we got for questions out there? Anybody have anything that you'd like to know or we should talk about? Otherwise, I'm just going to dive right in to look at some of these futures. All right. Well, I'm going to start looking at some charts. Okay. So I like Qs. I have discovered in the last few days that I like to grade the Qs. I like the vol and prepare myself for a potential entry. So that's what I will do. Hi, everybody over in TikTok land. I'm usually the scroller, not usually on the side of things. It changes how you view social media for sure. I'm just looking around here at the different stuff that I have open to make sure I'm not missing anything and everything's in good working order. Okay, great. Cool. So I'm gonna look at NQs here. I left my lines on here from yesterday. I didn't see the need to really change much of it. And I am looking at the 1 minute. So I'm gonna look to see what we got here. Let's see. All right, well, I'm gonna do some adjusting of some lines. So let's see what we got. I'm going to put a line down here at 576.07, so 2576.07. And I'm going to just make that my support for right now while I kind of take a look to see if there's a good entry point in here for me to scalp. And I am doing this the old-fashioned way. I'm not going to use my hotkeys because it's an opportunity. And then I'm going to look for some more opportunities for some lines on here. I'm going to go to the 5 minute. So I really like the 5 minute when I do some additional charting. I like this. I really just want to leave this just as it is. The 576.10 and the 617.40 on the 5 minute. So I do things a little bit differently. So yes, I am a scalper, but I do like to watch these on the 5 minute because really slow it down. This teaches me patience. I am no stranger to trading candles and really fast pullbacks. Those are my favorite to do. But I do like to view this especially when you're new, because I also use the L2 to get in and out of trades. You can see here, this candle here at MNQ is bouncing off of 602.83, and this is where the 9 is. And I use the 9 heavily to help me decide whether I want to get in and out of the trade. Let's see what it does. Again, I'm still on the 5 minute. I'm aware of that for those of you who probably will ask. You go back over here to the 1 minute and really look. It's still teetering here on the 9. So if I was going to get into this, I would have my my turbo trader, or if you were looking at the L2, you saw it too. And you could have shorted this and you could have taken a pretty good profit. And don't forget to make sure you have your stop loss in place. At 15 tick to 25 tick, given your risk tolerance, is a good range. And we are still below the 9 here, but we are hovering around the 21. I'm watching that L2.
We are getting comments, Ange, about lag, severe lag in YouTube, and I'm also personally experiencing also. So just so
See
you know.
that? Yeah, I see that. I'm not sure what to do about that. Not sure. Oh, hey, you know what? I'm also sitting in the dark. I just realized that. Oh, that's really bright. I'm making a huge note here. 1 moment. I'm just watching the NQ here. I'm just following this NQ here. Does anybody want to look at anything specific? One of the biggest things, guys, when you're coming in here, especially if you're new to futures, is make sure you're doing or using the simulation training to work on your mechanics. So whether you're scalping or you're doing the 2-minute EWO, understanding when to get in, when to get out, when to get in and when to get out is incredibly important. So we use that. We are above. So we are above the 21, we are above the 9 here, and we are above the 55. We're on NQ. So I currently have MNQ up. That's what we're looking at. Yeah, no, sometimes it happens when we have red days, right? Like when we make bad choices, we just journal it, right? Journal it so that tomorrow you can make better decisions. Yep, and we currently have MNQ main up. We are coming up on a critical area here at 617.40. And we're bouncing off the 9 again here. Let's see. All right, we're coming up here again. Watching the NQ, it looks like we've got some people in the Zoom watching MCL. We can switch gears and take a peek at that too. Or yeah, MCL. Let me pull that one. We'll go to the 2-minute. I always come in here and look at charting before I ever potentially hop into a trade. I never come in here blind.
And on TikTok Live, Suave asks, are you looking for buys?
I will draw, let's see where to go. I will draw lines before I ever get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a few lines on here that will help me decide whether or not I want to get into it. I don't care if it's running already. I don't really care. There's going to be more opportunities for me to come in here to take a trade. So I'll come in and do my charting first. I like to come in and look at the 5 minute, and I want to get some levels drawn out here before I ever get started. I'll use VWAP since it's pretty close to where we're at here, and I'll just make a mental note that VWAP is at 68.24. I'll also come up here to this 68.73 because it looks like this is a critical area that's been, quote, touched numerous times. So I'll put a line here as well. And then I want to dive in a little bit deeper, both just above this 68.71 and below here, VWAP and or what is this, the 55, and see if there's any other critical areas that I could at least notate. Me personally, I would rather overchart than underchart. So I'm going to throw a line. Let's see. I'm going to throw a line here at 68.45 just to close this up a little bit more. And now I'm just going to watch. I'm going to watch it for a minute. I want to see if it breaks and holds the 68.74 before I ever get in. And then I'm also going to come over here to the L2. And I'm going to look to see, because I do use this when I'm trading, I'm looking to see if there's any major support levels in here that I might be looking at or want to watch to get to for a good entry point. So just by looking at this, I can tell that it's teetering back and forth. Obviously, it's trying to decide whether or not it's going to break this 68.74. So I'll just wait patiently. And I'm watching this over here too. So I can do this a couple different ways. I can go and put an order in, a limit order in at just above the support here at 68.20, or what is that, 60, oh, it's moving up now. 68.63. So I could have put an order in just around here or so, and it would have come down and picked me up here if that's something that I was interested in doing. Or now I can wait to see if this is going to continue to pull back or there's a good entry to short this. And if you're not comfortable shorting, if you are familiar with just doing stocks on a more regular basis with a smaller account, you could always wait this out for it to come back to fit and get out. And so I wouldn't want to get in the middle of a candle. I would wait to see what it's going to do here in about 6 seconds. 5, 4. See what it does. It's bouncing off this 21 here. And it's below the 9. And I'm watching the L2 over here as well. So it's clipping that 9. The 9's sitting at 68.62. And just by looking at this, it looks like there could be a pop if there are no orders that go above it. And you can scalp it, a quick in and out entry. And a lot of times I'll sit and watch these before I ever get in because I want to catch. I want to if you switch between different future contracts, I want to make sure that I understand what it's doing before I ever hop in. Like I want to make sure of that. I don't want to just hop in to just hop in. And at this point, I'm going to make a decision here of whether I'm going to potentially short this or not. I really want to see this drop below the 21 before I'd ever consider shorting this. You're looking to see what this decides to do here. Else to watch. Let's see what else we got out here. RTI. Let's look at it at the 5-minute. Looks like I've already drawn some lines from this morning in here. Yeah, these two lines were my entry and exit points on RTY this morning. And then, like I said, I'm looking at the 5-minute here just to see what it's doing. All right, I'm going to go out the 30-minute a second and just gander to see if there's anything I can point out for myself if I were to come in here to start trading this. I'm going to throw a line here at 22.66.2. That's a critical point for me. We've had multiple touches here, so I'm going to throw that line on here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go out to the hour and look to see if there's anything major. I don't think I need to put any more lines on this one for right now. I go back to the 5-minute, narrow this down a little bit more. I'm going to put a line here at 22.56.80. And then I'm going to zoom in a little bit and I'm going to zoom in and bring this back down to the 1-minute and see what this is doing. Coming down here off of VWAP at 22.59.40.
Now that we're going to make a profit on that trade.
How do you know that? Well, it will all depend on when you got into it.
How much does it have to move? That type of thing. Does it have to move
Sure.
a lot or a little bit?
Sure, that's a great question. So it's all going to depend on where you get in. So first thing you want to make sure you pay attention to is what your fees are. At least I do. I pay attention to what the fees are. So if the fee getting in and out of, what is this, RTY? If the fee for this is like $4, I think it's like $4.50 to get into this. I need to make sure that I set myself up for success. So I set it up where I know that I could at least do my very best to make sure that I'm getting, at least for me to break even, that I'm making that $4.50? So what's that, $9 to get in and out of this to break even. So before I ever consider getting into something, I take losses too. But I can minimize that by making sure that I'm not just jumping in to a trade and I'm charting, setting it up, getting in at the right time. And then obviously you can do one of two things. You could pay attention to your profit and loss if that's what you choose to do. Or if you want to do the math for yourself to figure out where you want to get in and out, that's also great. But I generally like to know where a good exit point is before I ever get into a trade. So if we take it down to a slowdown here and we go over here to say oil, if I were to be looking for an entry or exit point and I want to use the L2 to do that, I may look at getting in somewhere around 68.70, and there's an opportunity to potentially get out of here at 68.74, barring that there isn't any weird orders that come in here or what the chart looks like. We're coming up here, we're up here to double top. So it's something to note. So you can make that decision, but then you got to know how to calculate that so that you know that if you're going to be profitable or not. If you're like me, I like to go in heavy and just get out really fast. That's just me. I like to say that I'm creeping up to being a master scalper, although many would say that I am already. But I like to go in heavy and get out quick. Does it look like it? Anybody over on TikTok have any questions?
Gold is flirting with trying to make another new high today, but it hasn't yet. The volume's dropped off, but it's still hanging up there. So gold's still hanging up there. It's up to about the 2,800 level. So
I sat in gold for a little while last night, like right at the end of the day. Or actually, it was at the beginning of the new market for the nighttime, and just to play around and get familiar with how the different time frames work and where you see where there's more volatility or not, and how a news affects it. So I like that I can sit in here and do futures any time of the day. I really enjoy that. I love it. I'll make a note of that. Um,
Derek has his hand up in the live Zoom.
what's up, Derek?
Hey, so for those of us who have a smaller account who have not taken advantage of the so-called after hours trading of futures, obviously the margin required is going to be quite a bit larger. Does the movement of a tick, the value of a tick change? Or is it just you have to have more kind of money as, a collateral available to trade those after hours?
That's a great question on the ticks. I haven't paid any attention to how much the ticks, if the ticks change.
Ticks don't change. It's just your margin because of the volatility after the regular market hours. So yeah, the ticks are the same.
Was you watching the oil at 10:30 this morning, Ange? I don't know if you were in it then or even looking at it because I remember that we had government news at 10:30 this morning. Did that affect the oil market? Maybe you weren't even watching, so it's really I'm not
I
answering.
wasn't watching today. I was in the Russells. So I was in a trade during that time. I did actually have a timer set to go off to have me go watch it, but I was in a trade, so I didn't get a chance to. The last time we had news on oil, it did affect it. It did affect it. So not sure if it did today. What was that? 10:30 this morning, right?
Yeah, it took a little while to kind of digest it, kind of channel there for maybe upwards of a half hour, and then it looks like maybe around 11 o'clock it kind of took off.
Yeah. Look at that. No, we're not just on TikTok. We are also on YouTube, although YouTube is experiencing some lag today, so we'll work on that later. But we also have a Zoom that is part of the American Dream Training community. So I would encourage you to join us over there too, where you can get some more training. But then we're also on LinkedIn and Facebook as well as Twitch. And I see Coach is in there sharing all of the goodies. So thank you, Coach, for doing that. But we are all over the place. Done the cues. Anybody in the Zoom looking at anything?
Push lower or not.
And on TikTok Live, Billy Cole asks, do you need to cancel out the stop to get out fast like you do in options?
That's a good question. Any of you or Aaron want to answer that? Because I've only done a handful of options.
No, in the futures, they'll still let you get out of it, but you still need to close that order. On Webull, I don't know what brokerage you're asking for, but on Webull specific, whether they're going to fix it hopefully later on, but you can go in there with a position with a stop, and you could exit that position. However, it does leave your stop still there, so you'll still need to cancel it after you exit your position, but it doesn't stop you from getting out of the position on Webull as of right now. On their side, brokerage probably different. That's just Webull specific.
Also on TikTok live feed, Craig Brown. He asked, what symbol do you use for the crude oil contracts? He said he's looking at crude oil continuous contract CL Woo. What are you using when you look at your oil? And
So
why?
I'm either looking at MCL main or I am looking at CL main. And I have traded both. I have them both on my watch list because depending on how many contracts I may be interested in getting in and out of these, I can get more contracts. Oops, hit gold. I'm sorry. MCL. I can get more contracts out of MCL than I can just SCL. So I have both up here. I have them both on my watch list because I never know who or anybody in the Zoom community or out on social which one. I never know what size account people have, so I have both available for those who want to look at them. But I do both. And for me, it's about position size. So when I first came in here to the futures, I was just doing one contract to get myself familiar with how to get in and out, testing my mechanics, testing my stops, so that I could decide a good I could decide what that would feel like for me and where my tick position for my risk was. And then now I like to do between 5 and 10. And today I upped it to 10 to test my own theories of, am I comfortable being in with 10 contracts or not? So for me now it's about position size. So I can go back and forth. My account my account on the future side, I have grown organically from that 500. So so because my account continues to grow, I can increase my position size. And I'm not taking anything out of this yet to really support needing to. I can continue to grow this account if I choose to, or I can take a little bit out because I myself am trying to figure out what a sweet spot is for me. How big do I actually want to have this account to trade futures? So I kind of have a number in my head that I want to get it to, and then leave it at that. But I can't decide yet how I want to do that.
Also on our YouTube live feed in the chat, Joe Hanlon wants to know, do I need to fund a totally separate account, or can I use the same funds on my regular trading account?
That's a great question. So you'll need to fund a new account. So if you're using Webull, you'll have to open a futures. So if you have a cash and a margin already, you would have to open a futures account. And you can transfer funds between accounts to set that up. The minimum is $500 for a futures account to be able to get started. That's the absolute minimum you can have. I would strongly encourage you to potentially put just a smidge more in there than just that 500. That way, unless your mechanics are really good, you need to make sure by the end of the day, because it's a margin account, that you have that minimum of $500 in that account so you do not get a margin call. So, because if you have a small account, say like that $500, between that $500 and $600 range, you're only, if you trade at night, you're only going to get one contract of, say, crude oil. Whereas if you have over, say, 1,000, you're going to have more opportunity where you could buy. There's more options out there for that too. So just be mindful that you're a little bit more on the limited side if you're going to do the 2-minute EWO or scalp. I am not currently in a trade. I don't trade live for the sake of blowing up my own account. I work very hard to grow this account. The last thing I want to do is blow that up. And I certainly am not going to do that live. So I am not currently in a trade. Yes, and I can paper trade live as well. Let's see, what do I want to pull up here? Let's do an NQ.
Aaron or Ange, well, Coach's 2-minute EWO strategy work with futures also like it does with stocks and options?
Absolutely. It actually works really great. And Aaron can elaborate a little bit more on that because I don't typically do the 2-minute.
I'll
Maybe.
just echo what you said. Yeah, no, absolutely. It works. But yeah, just apply the same rules. Coach's rules on the 2-minute, that if you trade, or if you're with ADT and you trade options and stocks, just apply the same rules and make sure that you are following all the rules, and it works perfectly.
Let's throw a couple lines on here. 59, 592. We'll throw a line here. Let's see here. What the thing as well.
On our TikTok live feed.
In an underlining equity. You're buying a futures contract. You're buying a futures contract. The futures do have a 20-to-1 leverage, which is different than option contracts. You have 100-to-1 leverage. So, but you are only purchasing that one particular contract. And your tick value is going to be how you equate that. The question that you're asking is going to be the tick value per the underlying futures contract that you're trading. And each futures contract has a different tick value that you want to educate yourself in. So know your product that you're trading. So let's say NQ is 25 cents per tick. So that's each tick is going to be 25 cents, and that's how you would equate your profit and loss.
I missed this entry point here, but you could have, if you were paying attention, which I missed it, at the 60807, you could have popped in here and popped this candle up to, which I have the 5 EMA. I don't have my indicator set up over here on the paper trading side. But you could have caught this pop here, and if you're a good scalper, you could have got in and out of this, and that'd have been done. You'd have been in and out of that flash. You could have waited for another setup here. Make a note. You can wait for the same setup again. Wait for a good one here. Oh, look at that drop. We are getting close to power hour as well, so we're going to see an increase of volume and volatility here as well. So while we're watching that they renew back at the 1500, new VIP monthly members get 50% off your first month. Promotion code at checkout of VIP50. Currently futures lifetime is available for 2,500. You can also go and buy 3 months of VIP, get 3 months of futures. You can do the same thing, buy 6 months of VIP, get 6 months of futures, and buy 1 year of VIP and get 1 year of futures. You can do any of those, and then they renew at their normal price at the end of that time frame. Also, you can buy a VIP lifetime, $1,000 off. And then that discount is already applied at checkout. That product is originally $5,000. Prior to becoming and being a part of the group, I have had all of these memberships minus the futures. So I came in here at the beginning of my journey. I came in here with the monthly, which was the $500 at the time, to get my feet wet, to make sure that I could understand what was going on within, because I had no idea what I was doing when I came in here. And then I soon realized that, okay, I understand what's going on here. Now it's time to invest in my future and go um, and give this a shot for a year. So I upped it then to the annual, and I got the annual membership. Just a second, two things at once here. So that worked. Okay. They upgraded to that annual membership. I did the annual membership because I was giving myself a year to get in here and knew I had 1 year to do it. Fast forward a few months in, I discovered that I did in fact know what I was doing, and I was able to apply everything that we learned in our trainings and trading and all the different breakout rooms for VIP gold. And now we have other groups within that I could take everything that I've learned and apply it. And now fast forward even further, back in September, I was able to retire myself out of my 8 to 5 that I was doing and be a part of the trading community 100% of the time. And now I get to train and trade with all of our members on a daily basis. So it has been quite the journey. I take full it's a full blessing to know that, having that VIP helped me have the resources that I needed to be able to be successful here. And I would recommend that for anyone. So take advantage of these sales we have. That major one being if you buy 6 months, if you live on a budget, that's, we totally get that. I get that, right? But if you buy 6 months of VIP, you get, what is this? The VIP, you get 6 months of gold free. That's great. And then same with futures, right? Take advantage of the future side of things too. It's a big community of everybody who we are all willing to help you no matter what your skill level is. So make sure you join in, guys, and take full advantage of the opportunities we have. Maybe.
Right click in your chart and go to chart settings. It should be intervals and symbol. Yep.
Thank you. There you go, guys. You're coming down here to a double bottom at 25,7,610.
Ange on TikTok live chat feed, Lemons asked, if I may ask, why are you paper trading?
That's a great question, Lemon. So since I'm training, on the paper side, I do this. But yeah, no, I want to make sure that I'm protecting my account. And Coach will tell you, and I just saw him put it in there. He has lost his ass on several occasions, live, and I'm not willing to do that. Not willing to do it. Yeah, it's really just to train you guys, right? Like, things that I'm doing training, I have to have really good discipline to make sure that I do the trading that I need to do every single day as well. So I do trade every day. And I typically like to get what I can out of the market within the first hour or two of the day. With futures, I have a little bit more flexibility. I can come in here basically anytime I want and pull, good opportunity. And yeah, you trust your skills, you can get in and out of here pretty quick.
They answer risk profile questions, etc.
Yes, you do. See, I totally wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I hit the wrong side, and look at that, stomped me out. And that's why when you get in here, you don't just click. You make sure you have a good setup before you ever pop in here or you get your face ripped off like I just did. I didn't even look to see, like, I wasn't paying attention. I did the one thing you're not ever supposed to do. And where did it go? There's a way to look at it over here on the paper side.
Cues are out of the double bottom. Some of our favorite trades. Double bottom, double tops. Actually, that's a triple bottom. That's even better. It broke through that.
Yeah, I did. Look at that.
And again, that's another reason we don't trade with our live accounts while we're moderating, answering questions, because you look over to read a question in the chats and think about what your answer is going to be. And by that time, you get a big knife drop. And before you can react, you've just lost a lot of money. So to protect our accounts, again, that's our money. So we got to protect too while we're trading. And we understand that as trainers, as moderators, that we should trade with paper when we're showing people how to do things. For that very reason, it just happened there.
Yeah, coach, you're crazy. Absolutely not. Nope. He goes, I've gotten into real trades and forgot about them while training. Oh my God. Nope. I actually have a ritual. So, and I don't know if I've ever shared this with even the ADT community. So when I start trading before I ever get started, I actually blast music. I get myself into a rhythm. I trade in mostly silence now for the most part. Because I'm part of the community, I sit in the Zooms typically all day. Not more recently because I spend a good chunk of my day training, but I start out my day with some music. I jam out, I get my head right, I make sure that I'm functioning in good working order. I've got my water, I've had, something to eat. And then when it's go time to sit down and get trading, then I'm completely in the zone. And I typically like to trade in silence. I can sit here with our Zoom in my ear, and I can typically ignore uh, what I need to. So if there's any like chatter, I can ignore that. But a lot of times I'm listening for nuggets and some key critical levels and anything I might be in or listening to or want to hop into and review. But I have a ritual. Just like before I hop on live, I do the same thing. I to start it. And I do those every single day. Like clockwork. Yep, we are in the middle of power hour.
Coach called out a double bottom bounce on the ESs.
There you have it. That's good. We're going to do a giveaway here. So go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, for those of you that are on TikTok right now, the name there, ADT Coach, that is Chad Christensen. That is the creator of American Dream Trading, the CEO, the president, the guru, the man with 30 years of experience. He can feel hot free to say hi to him right in the TikTok live chat right now. He's been here for the whole time.
Thanks, Coach. What else we got going on out here? Welcome, Mike. All right, I'm going to throw some lines on here on this. What is this? NQ. I'll throw more lines over here.
And did I just hear you use the term power hour? What does that really mean? What does that mean?
So it is the last. So for, I guess I know it as for the U.S. markets, it's the last hour of the day. So for those who do stocks, it's typically a little bit more volatile. We are hovering around the 595.90 here on NQ. Looking to see if there's a good scalping opportunity here. I have it on the 1 minute. I'm just gonna look to see what it looks like at the 5 minute.
I have a question for those that are live in our TikTok right now. How many of you actually trade futures live currently with real money? And how long have you been doing it, if at all?
Oh, let's see. I wish I could adjust it and leave it where I want it, but it's not gonna let me.
Super Z in the TikTok chat says he's been trading futures for 1 year and he trades all day long. That's great to hear.
It is great. I love that. I love the idea of having that option. It provides so much more flexibility.
Yeah, I told my wife that very thing because you know how wives can come up with a honey-do list and they still want it done in between, while you're trading, so keep your wife happy. I could go do her little honey-do list and then jump in and trade futures when I'm done. That's a great idea.
What did you think about that, Mark? You just created more work for yourself. I hope you realize that.
Well, I'm not volunteering for a honey-do list. I always put it off for at least 3 or 4 days. I just can't let her believe that she's 100% the boss, but she is. So happy wife, happy life.
Fair enough.
In the live TikTok chat, eBoss says he's not even paper trading yet. He's listening and learning. Well, that's great that you're learning. Yeah, take notes because we don't know what we don't know sometimes, right? You'll have them light bulb moments when things you don't understand just all of a suddenly become understandable. So yeah, it's all part of the growing.
Yeah, and that's actually really smart. That's probably one of the best decisions you could ever make is just sitting on your hands and doing just that, the paper trading and then taking notes and doing all those things. Very smart. A time where I asked, it was Mark even, I had asked during the pre-market or my early days, I said, how do you know when you are ready to go to the live trading side? And he said specifically, if you are asking that question, you are not ready. So I said, okay, well, I didn't happen in anything. And I took exactly what he said to heart and I continued to train. And it wasn't long after that that I switched over, but I do remember asking that very question. Uh, and it worked out to my benefit because I would go to bet that he was probably very right, in that moment. Had I gone into trading with live money, I probably wasn't ready. He's very correct. So definitely train more, trade less until you are very sure that you are ready. And
Yeah,
I stand that too.
that was the biggest mistake I made when I first started live trading. I didn't wait. I don't think I was watching Coach for probably a good week, maybe if that long. And I got my account open, funded, approved, all that jazz. And I, I didn't paper trade. I might have looked at it once. And Coach, that's one of Coach's things he preaches consistently: paper trade. Like you just said, trade more, trade less. But I'm smarter than your average bear, right? So I could do this, and it cost me quite a bit of money for that education. And we don't want other people doing it. That's why we use what we call fake accounts or paper trading accounts, simulation accounts. If you're going to make mistakes, you want to do it with unreal money. So no sense spending real money to make mistakes and learn the hard way. Do it on paper first. And all your brokers will have a simulation program that you can go in and use for free and set it up to trade. So do it that way. You'll find out what you don't know and what you do know real quick.
Trade. I can't trade and train at the same time because I miss these little opportunities. Very difficult to do. So yeah, if you're just coming in here, we are doing futures trading education over here with American Dream Trading on TikTok. We're also on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and then we have all of our premium members that are also in here from Zoom. So we have several in here as well. Before this live, we have a 2-hour training where we dive in deeper into the futures world, and it's an intimate group of individuals, where we can ask any question we want. Anybody can ask anything, whether you're seasoned or new, brand new to futures, and you can come in and do ask all the questions you want, just as you can here. But the group gets to do that prior to coming in here, or prior to us going live. So we have training, like I said, 2 hours before, and then we are live. And then if you are a part of American Dream Trading, we have Zooms all day long and trainings all day long that are available for all of our members in different forms. So we are a pretty large community, and futures is a new division for us. So we are growing this side of the business. So welcome all of you. I do not average in. When I scalp, I go in with whether it's one contract up to 10 at this point contracts, and I'm in and out. I don't average in or anything like that. I don't. And that's my personal choice.
And on our YouTube live feed chat, RC Scratch Build asks, when you are scalping futures, do you ever use the take profit function, or do you always manually exit trades?
Great question. So I always manually exit a trade. The reason I do that is because I don't want to sell myself short. There could be uh, a great run happening, and the last thing I want to do is to stop myself from taking a good amount of profit. So I choose not to take profit, and I actually have never done that. So I've actually had it set up where it would light up, or the checkbox was set up to do that, but I definitely choose not to do that. I don't ever want to sell myself short. I want to maximize as much as possible. I have traded a little bit of gold, but I typically like to do crude oil and NQ. I like NQ because of the volatility. And then I like crude oil. I like to do that one at night more so than during the day. But I typically like to stay more toward the more volatile. As a scalper, I like to get in and out of a trade really fast. Crude oil typically will slow me down a little bit and it teaches me some more patience. So I like to do that one as well. Plus, I like the contract size. So those are my two main ones. But while I don't hesitate to trade the other ones, I also do the Russells as well. So RTY. I'll do those as well.
But we can trade anything that our broker allows us to trade. We just all have our personal preferences. I personally like gold, how it moves. Other people might like, you know, the soft type of futures. Others may like agricultural, different things. Some people like trading coffee all day. If that's what floats your boat, trade it. You can become an expert at it. So we all have preferences. You can't play everything, so pick some things you like and learn them and hang with them.
Rare trades. Coach is around. Coach has been in the chat off and on today. He he typically does the stock education in the morning, so he's typically in here in the mornings, and then I am in here in the afternoons for futures. So futures is new for us. So you'll find me in here in the afternoons. So that's a great question. So he's still here. I promise you. You are in good hands in the afternoons with me as well. And yes, he has some mad skills. No lie.
What are you supposed to do?
It's a great question. So for all of you who have bad weather or lose electricity for whatever reason, or if you're like me, when you live in a newer development and somebody cuts a wire somewhere, you need to be able to trade on multiple devices. So while I have one hell of a setup here, I also am able to get in and out of a trade if I need to on my phone. And then also I have an iPad that I can also get in and out of a trade also if I need to. So always, always, always have know what you need to get out of. So if you need to use your phone to do that, make sure you know how to do that before you ever take your first trade. And then also do that for any other devices that you have. So I typically have only ever had to do that on my phone. I've had to do it a couple times where I wasn't able to get out of a trade because my internet went out or whatever. So make sure you can do that on multiple devices. Don't put yourself in that situation where you have no idea how to get out. And that's another great question too, or a follow-up to that. Like, how do you decide what kind of platform you want, or not necessarily platform, what device you want to use? Do you want to sit in front of a computer and trade? Do you want to do it on your phone? It really all depends on your personal preference. I trade on my phone too. I would never be out of here. I would constantly be in a trade, or I'd be looking for a trade. And for me, this teaches me balance, so that I'm not over trading or trading at the dinner table or while my kid's doing homework. It teaches me balance. I need to have work-life balance.
If I set up an account in the United States and I live in the United States, and let's say I want to go live in Mexico for a while, like somebody does, can I trade there? What if I want to go to France the following week? Can I trade there? What if I want to go to Australia? Can I trade there?
You can trade anywhere you want, all around the world. It does not matter. And that is amazing. It's one of the reasons why I do what I do here, so I can trade anywhere. Because when Angela's ready to get up out of the seat and go sit on a beach and trade, by God, I'm going to do it. So piano, the market is moving a lot today, and it's been moving a lot all week. It's a heavy earnings week, so we're going to see a lot of volume. So there's lots of numbers coming in and out. So that's why we're seeing a lot of movement. I love this week. This is probably one of my most favorite weeks to ever trade. I can remember my very first go around of earnings. Sometimes we'll switch it up and do the 30-second for a quick scalp, but I'm a scalper. Yeah, so what that is it's just catching these quick movements of either a candle, or if you're looking at a trend or a channel, and it's just getting out in and out of these with quick movements. So NQ is a good one for scalpers, where you can get in and out of these pretty quick and make a quick profit. And if you don't have the skills, you could also have a really quick loss. So that's what a scalper is. I've been a scalper since I started. I started when I originally started doing trading. I had two choices. I could either learn the 2-minute EWO, or I could learn to scalp. And because I worked, I needed to be able to scalp, because I don't sometimes have all day to sit in a trade. So I decided at that point that I wanted to be a scalper. And so I sat in the community, the ADT community, and learned how to scalp these candles, or scalp a trend here. Just quick in and outs, right? Like I can, if I'm not training, I can get in and out of these pretty quick. And it's really hard to do training and this at the same time. But quick in and outs, just make sure you have your stop losses in place, and make sure you know what a good entry is, and where your stops are. So that's the biggest takeaway you can have with being a scalper. I don't do anything long term. I never hold anything overnight. I typically like to get out about half hour, 15 minutes to half hour before the market closes for the day. That way I don't accidentally hold anything I shouldn't. Because I'm not in here to, one of my favorite members of our community, I'm not in here to bake a cake. I'm in here to get in, get out, be done. I want the maximum profit I can get out of it to meet my goal for the day, and then I can choose to get back in here again if I want to. Oil is moving up nicely on the 1 minute. And if this decides to keep creeping up, I want to pay attention to where a good entry point may be. So that's typically how I decide whether or not I'm going to do the candle or the wick. Doesn't matter. You just gotta choose and stick to one or the other. I've been known to do both. Just watching for lots of people on TikTok. My God. How is everyone doing over there in TikTok? Good? YouTube? Is it storming where you are? Because it's storming here. It's supposed to rain like hell the rest of the day. I'm still on the 5 minute. We'll go back to the 1 minute, look to see what it's doing. On the stock side. So I like to watch the L2. I like to base some of my entries and exits off of the L2. I'll look at the 5-minute here. See if anything changed. I like to go out to the 30-minute or the hour also and kind of gauge what I could potentially be up against. I'm going to get into a trade. I'm going to throw a line here at the 64.76 looking at the month chart. The reason I'm doing that is because I can tell that this is a double bottom, and I like to trade off the double bottoms too. So I will make that a different color so I can see it. I'm going to give it some lines so that I know exactly what I'm looking at when I switch back to the 1 minute. That's probably way far down there. Yeah, it's down there ways, but we'll leave that be for now. I like to overchart. I'll admit that. And I don't care. It works for me. So something else I like to do, and I'll do this with crude oil. You know, if it's moving pretty slow and I don't really have anything to be doing and I'm not, you know, maybe I've met my goals for the day, right? And I just want to work on some skill set. I'll come in here and I'll wait down at support for it to pick me up. I do that pretty often, actually, side, which is really nice. So if you didn't have a margin account in your stocks, yeah, you do have the margin over here. So we can put an order in both on the bid or the ask side and basically do the same thing. So I'm looking over here now to see if I can identify a good entry point to ride this up or down if I wanted to hop into something. I can tell by looking at the L2 and watching this forever, is so much screen time, that it's most likely going to keep channeling between this, what is this, 67, 66, and this, what is this, 90? Yeah. So it's going to channel between this 86, 85 range through the 90, 91 range. It's going to keep channeling as long as this happens. This is going to keep going back and forth. And so we're just going to sit here and wait and watch it for a second. I'm going to throw a line here at the top of this 68.92 just for the sake of throwing lines. Again, I like to throw lines everywhere that makes sense for me. This is MCL, Tommy. This is MCL main. And we're going to just watch this for a second. We're heavier on the ask side, so there's a possibility that this could continue to pop up to the upside. But I am seeing some more orders coming in over here on the bid side. So let's look. I'm looking at this to decide whether or not I want to get into this or not. And sometimes you can overthink it and miss an entry. Well, not many times. And it's just moving hella slow. And we are teetering off that 68.92 again. I'm just watching this. I'm looking to get in here just for fun. I don't particularly care for the paper trading side. It is slow and it lags, but you need a paper trade to get your mechanics down. And this is the slowest out. Super slow. It's not moving very fast. What is that? What is this? I have not ever seen this before on the paper trading side. Yeah, this is really slow to put this in
I
here.
think that's the
We're just
take
gonna do
profit
that.
side. Just uncheck that
Oh,
take
you are.
profit and
Oh, yeah, you are
only do
right.
the stop side.
It won't let me.
Um,
That's
yeah, then
annoying.
just do a regular close order and then change it in your order entry widget. So cancel that out.
Noted. Thank you.
Yep.
There we go.
And then change it to sell. And then
No, I want it
change
to
the
be.
market.
I
No,
want it to be
buy.
on buy.
Buy.
I want it to be on buy.
Oh, sorry. You're shorting it. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. And I need to make
Yeah,
this
then
bigger
change
so I
it
can
from
see it.
market to stop.
Let's see. Where do I just want to get it thrown up there for now. I don't really care about all this at the moment. I like the automatic. You can move your stop down to get closer. I'm going to leave it here for right now, uh, just because I'm waiting to see what it's going to do. It looks like it might start channeling a bit here. Maybe not, but I'm just going to watch it closely for a moment before I move down, before I move it down. Now, depending on what kind of scalper you are, you may find it that you want to just take a quick profit to get out. The beautiful part about having this margin, if you get in and out of these pretty reasonably, those small $5, $6 moves will add up over the course of the day. So if you've got good discipline of getting in and out of here, you can make a good deal of profits, meet some goals with getting in and out of these trades. So, and see here, I'm not even paying attention to it while I'm talking, but that's the beauty of it. You can get in and out of these fairly reasonably. So I do enjoy that. It's a great feature that we're able to do. See, yeah, I'm paying attention.
On our TikTok live feed, DJ Vinny62 asked, not doing an EWO? Why is that?
Hi, Vinny. No, so I don't typically do EWOs. I just scalp. Now, you can still do EWOs on the futures side. In fact, I would encourage it, especially if you're a new trader. But yeah, you can still do EWOs on the future side. I just choose not to. And I'm going to let this hit my stop because I'm not paying attention. So you saw that was a $5 loss. Letting that hit my stop like that. So that's why you have to pay attention while you're trading. And why we've talked about this a couple times today that it's really hard to train and trade at the same time. Super difficult. DJ, I liked the Russells today. RTY was awesome. Typical scalp. I sat in it for an extended period of time, but I was able to follow all the indicators that we have with the EMAs and such, and follow the trend. And I was able to stay in it for a significant amount of time and made, like I said, a great deal of profit. So it was a good little run this morning.
Yeah, I was kind of a little upset with today because I was sharing my screen today. That's what we do as moderators, right?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
and I do the same thing as you. I'm not going to screen share generally and trade because people are asking questions and things. I didn't even get in that. I missed that whole entire trade. I mean, I was watching it, but I didn't want to risk my real account being in a trade while I was sharing my screen. So it is distracting. They were making 300% plus on that trade today. We're playing EWO on it. It was over 3x.
Yeah, it was so good. It's days like that, and I say this a lot too, and I know others do as well. When you work as hard as we do to make sure that we know and understand what we know about the market and what it takes to get in and out of a trade, so then we also know our mechanics, and we spend hours upon hours doing that. And when you can come in here on a day like today and catch IWM or RTY and execute those mechanics that you worked so hard on, and to see it come to life, it makes all the hours and the losses that we've experienced over time, makes it worth it to see that happen. Um, I love that. That is probably one of my most favorite things about being a trader is I'm constantly learning. It never stops. Just because I would classify myself as a pretty darn good scalper, I still come in here and I learn every day. I want to surround myself with people that know way more than I do, and I want to learn from them. In fact, I get really excited when there's chances to learn something, um, or be pulled into a direction of learning something. So and that comes back to that more training, less trading, but then when you get the opportunity to trade it and you can fully execute it, it is the coolest thing. At least I think so. Yep, and I don't get FOMO either. So I know we talk a lot about FOMO, fear of missing out. So not only in my real life do I not have FOMO, in fact, I enjoy not being part of a lot of things. But because I'm more of an introvert than anything, I don't get that in trading either. And I find that on the future side versus the stock side, I can pick something. I can pick a few at my mind. I was going to follow that today. I was going to see what happens. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't jump around. I knew that crude oil had news today at 10:30, but I made myself a note just in case, set an alarm for it just in case I wasn't in anything and I could go look. But I don't get FOMO, and a lot of traders will hop in and out of things. They'll hear, you know, if you're in our stock education in the morning, you'll hear, oh, test the list, Apple that. Once in a while you'll hear ES thrown out there or IWM. Like you hear all these things, and you sometimes when you're new, you feel like you're self-inclined to like hop in and just gander. And if you're a new trader, you'll feel like, oh my gosh, I got to get into this. Somebody's hollering this, so you'll get in, and then you'll lose your face. I like the features because I'm able to choose. In my experience so far, I am able to choose one or two to look at, but um, they're it's just really good to be able to hone in on one thing at a time. I don't feel the need to pop in millions of things, and I can focus. Hi, Hudson. I enjoy seeing familiar faces or names, I guess. So we're down about the last 8 minutes. Tomorrow, I think, well, I'm going to pick a couple topics to cover um, throughout and do some training live, in addition to watching uh, some futures live. While we're winding down here, I'll cover some of our sales we have currently going on. So give me a moment here to switch up some screens so I can see what I'm doing here because this light is bright as hell. It is so bright. Oh, shoot. All right, so the current sales we have going on over here. One of the bigger ones, buy 6 month of VIP, get 6 months gold free. And then when they renew, they'll renew at their normal price at 1,500. New VIP monthly members get 50% off your first month with the promo code at checkout at VIP50. Futures lifetime is currently $2,500. And that will get you into our Zoom that we have Zoom training from 12 So what is that? That's 12 to 2 o'clock. So that's 2 hours before we go live on social media. And we dive in a little bit deeper to any questions our members have to further their education on futures. Other promotions we currently have on, you could buy 3-month VIP, get 3 months of futures. You get 3 months of futures as well. You could buy 6 months of VIP, get 6 months futures. So that 3-month will renew back at that 70 or 750. If you do the VIP, get 6 months of futures. So 6 months of VIP, 6 months of futures. When you renew that again, it will be 1,500. And then right now also, if you have, okay, so it's buy 1 year VIP, get 1 year futures also. So that's great too. So then you get the best of both worlds. And if you're not part of our VIP, you're truly missing out. It's a great community. And then buy a VIP lifetime, you get $1,000 off discount that applied at checkout. And those originally are around 5K, or they're originally 5K. So they're 5,000. So we every single day have lots of promotions that go on here with American Dream Trading. We didn't reach 100 concurrent members in here at once, so we'll keep that one on the back burner to do a giveaway in the future. So I'll be paying attention to that every day as we go live. We do trade all day long. It's so over with our VIP group. The live goes, we start at, what is that, 4 a.m. Eastern. So our live is open that early with the pre-market, and we have Mark who's in here now. So thank you, Mark, for expanding your time over here with futures too. So Mark and one of our best trainers we can have, Nate, is a part of that group too, along with others who do the hot stocks in the morning with the group. And you get some in-depth training and knowledge in the morning, that pre-market. Coach comes in here at 8 o'clock. Is that 9? I get the times mixed up. He comes in here in the morning and does live stock education. So you'll find him again over here at TikTok and LinkedIn, Twitch, Facebook. I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, TikTok. I said TikTok too. So he comes over here for that as well. So you'll find him in the morning. Today he took the day off, a much deserved break. We all appreciate the time and energy he puts into the community, so he deserves those breaks as well. Yes, Nate is fantastic. I will tell you, Mark is the reason why I am as good of a I chart as well as I do from the very beginning. I learned how to chart because of him, and then I can attest that listening to Nate in that pre-market, and then Coach then during stock education, it was also a huge contributor to me being as successful as a scalper that I am. And that is literally listening and following all the rules that Coach has applied, and then taking the little tidbits that Nate gives in the pre-market and running with it, just running it as fast as I can. With all of that knowledge, again, has made me as good of a scalper as I am. And for me to be able to have that knack, it comes with all the hours and time that I put into training versus trading too. So absolutely. Oh, Mark's pre-market song is the reason I joined ADT. Well, that makes one of us. Oh, that's funny. Let's see, what do we got up here? Please join her, show your support. I showed up one day, I think it was back in April, just slowly went live with everybody and kind of shared a little bit of my story, and it kind of catapulted from there. So Don does a great job. She always has great guests. Palm Coast pops up over there, and he's great with that mental mindset trading aspect. So join them over there to kind of let loose a little bit and talk about your day. Join her on the panel. If you're either within the community or not, just join and get to know us. You know, we are traders and people too. And when you're a part of the community, like the rest of us, we all become family. So please go out there and support. I'll take one last moment here to thank all the moderators who take time out of their day to pop in here and and support me. Who the frick knew that this was going to be a thing? That I would be doing this live. You would have asked me a month ago that I was doing this. I would have told you you're nuts. You're absolutely out of your mind. But here we are. And so I thank all the moderators for popping in here and helping out. And thank you, Aaron, too. Aaron has a great knowledge base behind him, and he's a great support, too. And so I appreciate all the time and energy that you pour into coming in here on the live and training and assisting me when I need help with things, too. So also thank you for doing. So again, thank you everyone for coming in today. I appreciate all of you. Coach appreciates all of you. And we will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you for coming, guys. Have a great rest of your night.